Can we top this green? The quest for the perfect green, part 2. However, I don't think we shall be using any dice rolls today, as we only have 2 possible ingredients to complete our list of currently blooming yellow dye sources: yarrow and goldenrod. As it is still early morning, let's first go for goldenrod, because that is the dye stuff that we have to venture out for, and it's not yet like burning heat. So let's go on an adventure! Now, before we go adventuring, let's first prepare our fiber, which is the last of that Hampshire Down fluff. After that, I will have successfully dyed every bit of the Hampshire Down. It's going to be a project in and of itself to spin it all together. Anyway, this is the last undyed bit of that remnant of Hampshire Down fluff. Let's prepare this by throwing it into a pot with dissolved alum, so that the alum can like bite down on the little fibers. Mordant comes from mortar, biting, so that the fibers will be open to receive dye. I might have found an even better goldenrod spot than the ones I showed you in the last video. Once again, next to a public footpath, so I am allowed to forage here. There also is just a lot more goldenrod on this spot, so I feel kind of a little bit better about foraging it here, because I'm not damaging the population that is growing here. Or not as much. I think this will be plenty. Now, goldenrod is one of those dye sources where you actually have a choice. Either you use only the flowers, or you use the entire plant tops. Now, once again, the book shows that the entire plant tops will give a greener green, so we're going with the entire plant tops. For goldenrod, the rule of thumb is approximately as much dye source or dye material as you have wool. I think we have a lot less wool than all of the goldenrod that we forged today. I'm going to call this more than yellow enough for our purposes. Let's make an iron bath to see what green this will become. Don't you just love this instant color shift that this modifier gives? Let's make it work its magic. So this is goldenrod yellow. Are you ready for goldenrod green? That is quite a metamorphosis indeed. No. That's not what I wanted. No. Ah, well. Now this also has a little bit of a green hint. Anyway, goldenrod. And I've messed up my table. No. Now if you compare it to the Tansy green, the goldenrod green still has a lot more of a yellow tint. It's not as much of a true green as the Tansy green appears. It's lovely. It's very nice green, and if I had not seen this before, I would thoroughly enjoy this green. But for now, it's not really contending with the Tansy green. But it is much more green than the carrot one. Our quartet of greens is almost done. let's go and forage some yarrow. And yarrow is the plant that I have to venture the least far for. Like for wild carrot, I still have to go to my back garden, but no, yarrow is just right over here, right in front of the studio. This is why I have allowed it to grow on my terrace, for it will be of use to me. Now apparently an anthill has formed around the roots of this yarrow. I'm so very sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Ants, but I'm taking your garden plants. Now, since once again the amount of fluff that I'm trying to dye is rather tiny, I think this bouquet will suffice. Now, for those of you who liked me yapping about the Dutch names of these plants, I'm sorry to disappoint, but both yarrow and goldenrod are pretty boring in Dutch, actually. Goldenrod in Dutch is guldenrode. Yep, it's just the same word, but with other sounds. What's that, English and Dutch being sister languages? And then yarrow is duizendblad, which means 1,000 leaves, which is just the literal translation of the scientific name of yarrow, which ends in millefolium, 1,000 leaves. If you enjoyed the poetic boerenwormkruid, I am so sorry to disappoint you that both yarrow and goldenrod are actually boring. Now, for all 4 dye stuff that I have been featuring on this little mini-series of finding the perfect shade of green, it was the very first time I have been dyeing with it, both for wild carrot, tansy and goldenrod. But it is not exactly entirely true for yarrow. For yarrow is also in this solar dyeing pot, which, well, I don't think is entirely finished yet. I want to let it go a little longer. It's not exactly the first time I'm dyeing with yarrow, but it is the first time that I will have immediate results, because look, while I can see that this is yellow, it's not done and rinsed, so I don't know what yellow it will eventually give. Experiments and shenanigans, that would here for right? I'm pretty positive that this pot has reached a proper potency for our purpose. I don't think the yarrow fluff is going to get a brighter yellow than this. So take a little bit that can just stay yellow. It's warm. And then this bit we shall chuck into the iron modifier bath. I often forget to explain stuff, so my iron modifier bath, now you might have seen this in earlier stages of this video or a previous video, is just the dye bath with the iron. This is not just iron. This is yarrow. Yarrow yellow, yarrow green. And we can now make a comparative study of the 4 dye sources that I have scribbled on this paper, which has now, well, lived a tough life. I feel like if we look at different categories, the order in which I would put them is completely different. One thing that remains the same is that I think that the wild carrot is the least exciting of the 4 dye stuff. Like, the yellow is pretty though. It's a really pretty yellow from wild carrot, so if you want this specific shade of yellow, superb. But it doesn't compare with some of the other shades that we have from the other dye stuff. And the green is very faint, like it is still in the yellow shades. So if I were to make 2 categories, both the green and the yellow, the wild carrot is ending on the bottom for me. Number 1 in the category of yellow is goldenrod. This is such a beautiful, pure yellow. Like, if you think of primary yellow, this is it. Honestly, gorgeous. Tansy would come in a close second, but this is more of a highlighter yellow, while this is a warm yellow. And then, well, yarrow yellow is actually very comparable to carrot yellow. But in the greens, yarrow is not comparable to carrot. Like, that's a much greener green, isn't it? If I were to sort these according to the green that I like most, well, it is no surprise that Tansy will still come in first. This is absolutely amazing green. I will then follow it up with Goldenrod. This is also a beautiful green, but it's, you know, that warmness of the yellow is shining through. It's not a true green. And then Yarrow. Together this would make an awesome yarn, I think. Just the 3 shades of green together. Now all 4 of these experiments were, what if I put grey with yellow? I have a bonus round. What if I put yellow with grey? I only hope my dye source isn't entirely smooshed in my backpack. So yesterday, while I was hiking with my mum, I found a pancake. A very specific pancake, because it's not a pancake, it's a mushroom. I found dyesource. I didn't expect to find it, because I didn't think it is the season to find dyesource, but here it is. A very reputable source of very bright yellow. How am I going to put it in grey? Well, this is still dripping wet, but secretly, while filming all of the other fragments, I have scoured and mordanted a bit of blue tassel, which is a naturally grey sheep. Bonus round, we're dyeing yellow on a grey sheep. Woohoo! My floor is getting wet. I hope this gives a good amount of dye, because it's probably already an older specimen of dyesource and also not a very big specimen. I'm not entirely certain if my mushroom has given up all of its pigment yet, but I'm just going to add the fluff to it nonetheless. I mean, these are really big pieces. It's not that I will have to painstakingly pick it out of the fluff later. So in all honesty, I actually expected the color to be more uniform on the fluff and not just, I don't know, how is this dispersed? It's really cool looking, don't get me wrong. I am very curious to how this will look when I spin it. But it's like a gradient on the tips, like it's very green, then a little bit, well, no, yellow, and then it goes a little bit green, and then it's just gray. I don't know what happened. Did I have too much fluff for the amount of mushroom? Possible, but then this is very vibrant though. Yeah, well, you will see this in the later video because it just looks so freaking interesting. And I cannot wait to spin this. Like, how will this look? Anyway, we did not achieve to actually get green. This is just gray with yellow tips. But, I mean, in name of experimentation, very good. Whenever I do this kind of dye experiments, of course, there are lots of maybes and probablys and what did I do wrong and what did I do well, and mostly I cannot answer them because while a lot of people think or feel like natural dyeing is an exact science, I do not agree with that. To me, natural dyeing is a form of play, of experimentation, of kicking my brain into a creative gear, seeing what I can do. I'm not trying to get results that I can perfectly replicate the next time. I don't even write anything down. This is the only log. It's really, for me personally, all about play. And I love getting such unexpected results as this, very flamey gray. I just came across a mushroom on my hike, put it in a pot, and now I have this. Oh my god, that's amazing. That is just, it makes me so happy, and I am so thankful for the contribution of this mushroom to my fluff stash. Right? I mean, yes. This is going to be so fun to play with. And so are these. My Goldenrod and Yarrow results. That's some very good color, isn't it? Anyway, I think with this I can conclude this little mini series on finding the best yellow dye source to make green with. I think we can say that Tansy is the winner, followed by Goldenrod and Yarrow. Yeah, I think that's my conclusion. And I still stand by what I have said in the last video. I want an entire sweater of that Tansy green. But first, what I am going to do, I'm already out of screen. I have all my other dye experiments with this Hampshire Down fluff together in this bag. I'm going to add all my green and yellows, and we're going to spin it together. It's going to be one big yarn of green, yellow and orange, you know, all my favorite colors. Yes. When I will do this, I am not certain, but I'm posting this so that you can hold me accountable. For Jente, you still need to spin that Hampshire Down fluff. Hopefully you will hold me accountable for that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, because I did enjoy this a lot. Yes, I like playing with colors. And if you like playing with colors too, and any other kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, maybe you can look at some more dyeing shenanigans. Bye!